As Donald Trump enters the White House, this is how the rest of America sees the world. 79% of Americans think the Islamic State is a major threat, with cyberattacks and a nuclear North Korea rounding out the top three. Despite interfering in our election, only 54% of Americans view Russia as a major threat. But when we split the respondents up by political party, the data becomes more interesting. While everyone agrees ISIS is a big threat, Democrats feel climate change and cyber attacks are a bigger one. Only 1 in 4 Republicans feel climate change is a major threat. Democrats are also far more likely to view Russia as dangerous, with the numbers roughly flipped when it comes to attitudes toward refugees from Iraq and Syria. After Russia meddled in the election, the number of Democrats seeing Russia as a major threat has doubled in the last 9 months. Support for Israel is more partisan now than it's been in the last 40 years, as 3/4 of Republicans now sympathize with Israel over Palestine. But for Democrats, support for Palestine has surged, likely the result of the campaign of 2016 Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders, who sympathized with the plight of the Palestinian people. And despite a series of high-profile hacks, Republicans are less concerned about cybersecurity than they were last year. When it comes to the United Nations, the public supports it at a rate of 2-1, but that's mainly from Democrats, as Republicans' faith in the global institution is down 24% from its high of around 70% in the mid-1990s. Americans' views toward China are about equal across party lines, as only 22% think the Chinese are adversaries of the United States. That said, 43% believe China poses a serious problem. Interestingly, in a survey from spring 2016, 52% of Chinese said they thought the United States was trying to prevent it from becoming as powerful. That number is likely to be even higher today after Trump frequently vilified China during his successful campaign. On Russia, Trump may want to seriously reconsider playing nice with Vladimir Putin, as only 19% of Americans have a favorable view of the ex-KGB kleptocrat. Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu is barely above water by 2%. The partisan divide on Israel I pointed out a minute ago is also true of the Israeli prime minister, with Republicans more than twice as likely to support the hawkish leader. And then we have German Chancellor Angela Merkel, who receives high marks from liberal Democrats but low marks from American conservatives, likely a result of her high-profile decision to accept large numbers of refugees into her nation and her close working relationship with President Obama. On energy, 65% of Americans believe the US should prioritize alternative, renewable sources over fossil fuels. What's interesting here is that even 45% of Republicans feel this way. On January 21st, more than 4 million Americans around the country, probably the biggest day of demonstrations in US history, peacefully marched against Trump taking power. So the pressure is really on Trump and the Republicans who control both houses of Congress to start delivering results for the American people.